Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we are literally stepping out of the cool blue shadows of restriction and walking right into the warm, golden light of divine favor. We're unpacking this incredible, cinematic biblical exploration of what it actually means to be blessed. We'll be tracing ancient scriptural blueprints and seeing exactly how they apply to our modern daily lives.
So let's jump right into the deep end here with a massive question. What does it truly mean to live in the overflow? We live in a culture that constantly bombards us with the idea that a blessing equals massive material wealth or some crazy one in a million extraordinary event. But when we dig into the source material, it becomes super clear that we have to look way past those superficial metrics to find the real, tangible meaning of a blessed life.
And here's the crucial shift in perspective. True blessing, it's an active, daily, supernatural favor. It's found in the everyday miracles. It is a constant, ongoing reality that's quietly surrounding us all the time. Think about it. Waking up with a clear mind, moving freely without pain, just having your health. That is the true blessing, rather than just sitting around waiting for a sudden windfall of cash or a rare lightning strike of good luck.
All right, let's move right into Section 1, Ancient Proofs of Favor, shifting from scarcity to covenant.
When you look back at biblical history, it's amazing how these massive, sweeping narratives distill down into clear, actionable blueprints for us today. We see ordinary people who took literal scarcity and hardship and turned them into golden abundance just through their character. Take Ruth. Her fierce loyalty completely shifts her life from the gray dust of scavenging in a field to total restoration. Or Hannah, whose sacred vow in the quiet of the tabernacle results in a deeply answered prayer. Then there's Abigail, who uses this profound wisdom and quick thinking to literally disarm an army and save her household. And Obed-Edom, who just welcomed and honored the divine presence, which totally transformed his home. These aren't just stories. They show us that virtues act as direct catalysts for supernatural favor.
And this doesn't just apply to individuals, by the way. This framework scales all the way up to kings and entire nations. Solomon's immense gratitude led to unparalleled temple abundance. It was wealth built purely on reverence. Then you have the absolute audacity of Jehoshaphat. He actually sent a choir out to praise God before the battle even started. That radical act of faith brought them straight to the valley of blessing. And King Hezekiah's extreme generosity created literal heaps of provisions. There is a huge lesson here. Praise, gratitude, and generosity have to precede the victory and the abundance. You can't just wait to be generous until after you win.
We see this dynamic perfectly captured in 2 Samuel with Obed-Edom. It says, "And the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and all his household." Honoring the sacred presence transformed an entirely ordinary home into this flourishing space bathed in light. It was never about extravagant wealth to begin with. It was just about honoring God's presence in the normal, mundane rhythms of daily life. And that consistent reverence, it naturally yielded an overflowing abundance that touched every single person under his roof.
Which brings us to our second section today, the miracle of ordinary health, and what we call the hospital contrast.
To really grasp this concept today, we have to be honest about how often we take our everyday miracles totally for granted. Just look at the deliberate contrast here. On one hand, you have a hospital room, sterile, restricted, marked by these cold blue shadows and the beeping of machines. It's a place of severe scarcity of freedom, where people literally just long to go outside and feel the wind on their face. On the other hand, you have ordinary life. Someone just walking outdoors, surrounded by warm golden light, breathing fresh air without even thinking about it. When you really see that contrast, you realize that just walking outside in the sun is an active, supernatural favor.
Seriously, the invisible movement of air in your lungs is a direct, divine gift. As humans, we take roughly 20,000 breaths every single day, and we almost never think about it. That is 20,000 invisible miracles happening in your body daily. When we actually stop taking that physical reality for granted, it completely shatters our normal perspective on blessing. It yanks us out of that terrible mindset of complaining about what we don't have, and it pulls us straight into profound, active gratitude for the vital life we already possess.
But how do we maintain that perspective? Well, that leads us right into Section 3, escaping the comparison trap. Because let's be real, in our highly connected era, if we want to appreciate our everyday blessings, we have to escape digital discontentment. Step 1 is recognizing the trap, that digital isolation. Think of that cold, artificial blue light hitting your face as you scroll through everyone else's curated, seemingly perfect lives late at night. All that does is breed a scarcity mindset. Step 2 is the reframe. You have to physically put the device down. Look up and recognize the present grace right in front of you.
The warm, natural light in your own home, the sound of your family, your morning coffee. And that brings us to step 3, the destination, finding true contentment in the overflow of what you already have. By simply stepping away from the glare of comparison, we let the sunrise of contentment into our homes.
This digital trap isn't just annoying, it is psychologically and spiritually dangerous. If you are constantly comparing your unique timeline to someone else's, you are on a fast track to despair. Instead, we have to trust that everyone is walking a totally different, beautiful path under God's timing. Imagine a cinematic aerial view of people walking completely separate winding paths across entirely different landscapes. You literally cannot compare your journey to theirs because your timeline, your challenges, and your ultimate horizon are entirely unique to you. Rest assured, what is meant for you will not miss you.
And finally, let's look at section 4, the spiritual overflow.
Once you actually escape that comparison game and start recognizing those everyday miracles we talked about, you step directly into a powerful current. You start seeing the real visuals of true blessing. We're talking overflowing rivers of living water, spiritual refreshment that just doesn't run dry. We see the law of spiritual reciprocity, where seeds scattered in faith turn into a massive golden harvest. We see families sharing genuine, echoing joy around a dinner table without needing any crazy material extravagance to validate it. True blessing isn't a stagnant pool of hoarded stuff. It's a dynamic, unstoppable, life-giving river that nourishes absolutely everything it touches.
And this whole reality is anchored so beautifully in 1 Kings, which says, "Blessed be the Lord that hath given rest unto his people." Finding true rest means finally ending that anxious, exhausting chase for the extraordinary. It means making the choice to lay down the heavy burden of needing to constantly prove your worth, and instead just resting in the profound divine peace and the everyday provision that surrounds you and your family right this very second.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to really reflect on today. Are you going to keep waiting for some rare, extraordinary event to finally feel like you're favored? Or will you open your eyes to the everyday miracles, the 20,000 breaths in your lungs, the peace in your living room, the people by your side, flowing through your life right now? Thanks so much for joining me today. Keep counting those everyday blessings and keep seeking the light.